Welcome everyone to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. Let's just move this up here just a bit. Today I'm in the kitchen, as you can see. Several people have asked me how to go about making fried chicken. One person was really curious about it, and I'm going to share the methods of how I cook those today. Please excuse me, I forgot to get something, and the door is kind of getting a little there. First, I'm going to say we need some oil. This is what's left, I believe. There might not be any more. And you want it, put it into a frying pan. Now, you're going to layer the oil around it. I am going to check, while talking to you all, about how to cook fried chicken. Now, I'm just checking for more oil because we usually keep more oil on hand. Sometimes we have oil, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's other stuff. As you know, when Aaron died, we've had some change of plans, but okay. Now, my mother's recipe requires about 2 cups flour. Okay, 2 cups flour. Now, as you can see, there's poultry seasoning in here. Poultry seasoning we're going to dump into the flour. And while we're at it, I'm going to be looking over the spice rack here just to see what else can be used besides poultry seasoning. Now, always make sure you have plenty of poultry seasoning. Italian herb seasoning isn't bad too, or lemon pepper, but now once you do that, you get a spoon like this, and you stir the poultry seasoning into the flour. That's right. And then you repeat again. Now I want to give a shout out to Sherry. She wanted to know how to do this. It's actually simple, but I will get you all the information as is needed. For me, love chicken legs, so that's what I usually have when it comes to that. Okay, so now we stir it a second time to make sure it's all consistent. And once that is done, then I will check for, just out of curiosity, other seasonings. There's other things you can put too as an experiment. For example, you could use dry steak seasoning, or you could use other thing. I have plenty of steak seasoning around, but that will be a different time. You don't put in ground cinnamon. And the spice rack here, I took out the poultry seasoning. So, and yes, I have Aaron's spice rack and my own. So, let's see. There we go. Oh, and you might want to use a little white pepper and stir it in. And then you're ready for the next step. Yep. We'll just put this over here because I don't want to go dig in the other rack. You know. There you go. So, the next step is simple. I'm going to get a knife again. And some tongs. And the knife is here. There you go. Now, the tongs are for another reason, okay? You got the oil. You got this ready to roll. Always clean your mess up when you're done. So, again, welcome to Living Simply and Fun's kitchen. So, Moppy's waiting for his handout. You could see, well, he's over there, but he knows what's going on. Next is the chicken legs. Now, before I go and I actually open the package completely, I will run water in the sink, like so, and I will drain off the chicken blood that's in said package. It's easier not to have the blood. Let it go down the drain. And now for the fun part. Okay, so the chicken legs here we have are approximately 6 fat chicken legs. This will be supper for tonight, which is simple. So, let me show you. Let me wash my hands. Okay, my hair is in the way. I should have. Alright, so now that you have this, we're going to do 2 things. One, we're going to take this over to this. Now, we're going to turn the vent on low. We're going to turn the heat to medium. Now, first thing we're going to do with these legs is we're going to put it into our flour mixture. Make sure to get it all covered, the entire chicken. Put it into the frying pan. Continue until it is ready. I will have to clean one of the pans. As you can see, I'm rolling it nicely, and then put it into the frying pan. Okay, now what you do is, I made a little too much batter, but that's okay. That's why there's a garbage can. And as you know, sometimes flour can get sticky, but we're not done yet. While that is heating up, which we have to give it, I will scrub real quick the flour bowl and make a quick cleaning of the kitchen, and then I will continue on what's going to happen. Okay, so there we have it, right here, all done. That's done as well, but we just got to wipe this down. I already have a paper towel, so it just works its magic. So, the last thing I got to do is move this frying pan. It's got a little flour on it, don't worry. Okay, so, there you have it. Now, I got to clean some more real quick. This is going to be used to bake the chicken. Now, I'll explain in a second. Please excuse me me for 1 second. I want to get my dish towel. Okay, so always cook the chicken when you get it in the frying pan on medium. You don't want to scorch the pan, and make sure you have plenty of oil. The more oil, the better, because and not too much. You're not flash deep frying it in a deep fryer. You're actually, doing it differently. So let me explain in a second. There, my hair has been giving me trouble today, so I'm going to brush for a quick second. Now, as you know, you're wondering about the rest of the cooking utensils. Well, first, I've got one burner, by the way. I'm going to let this cook. And, yeah, so now I'm going to give a tip. You have non-cooking spray or non-stick spray, you're going to want to use it in a pan like this. The reason for it is you're going to be scorching probably so growing up, these pans were used primarily for steaks and chicken. Now, as you can see over here, you can't see, but the next step was being planned. So the frying pan is now frying them. Once you get a nice golden brown, flip them on each side, rotating them so it cooks properly. I'm going to inspect this. Have tongs ready to go because it's not going to take long on medium once you get it going. Always inspect the chicken. When it's not ready, you don't flip it. And another tip is use your tongs on the baking sheet you're going to be cooking this on. And while we're at it, I'm going to pour a cup of soda and let this cook for a minute. So just remember, you want it to be golden brown. But there's more to the cooking in the oven than just frying it. And I'll explain. When you use the mixture, whatever you use, whether it be Italian herbs and flour, lemon pepper marinade, or etc., or whatever, the secret is to put it in the flour first, and then you're good to go, right? So once you do that, you're fine. But the thing is once you fry it on each side, that is the easy part. You want to make sure you time the chicken just fine. And one other tip. cooking this, make sure you take in the oils that are in the frying pan. Make sure that you personally take the time to brown everything so there's no flour on it, because it is part of the secret of cooking in the first part of stage 1. And this would be considered farm cooking, by the way, which is really good. Talking about Aaron for a minute, hubby Aaron, he did not like it because my mother's chicken to him was too greasy, and he told his mother-in-law this, my mother, he preferred KFC chicken or grocery store chicken because it was too greasy. Now, I'm just rotating them to make sure they're cooking on all sides before putting them in the pan. Alright, next step is going to be kind of simpler for all of you out there. I'm going to be sitting here for a second and letting you know the next step is quite simple. We're going to be turning the oven on. Now, for some of you out there, you don't want to overcook chicken, but trust me. Turn your temperature to 300 degrees. 300 degrees, preheat your oven. You don't want anything higher than 300. So, inspect your chicken because you don't want it to look kind of raw on your legs. So that is what I'm doing right now. One chicken leg is ready. As you can see, you want it to about this color and this texture while you're sticking it into the pan here. The last 2 chicken pieces didn't cook that well because the oil is slowly depleting itself, but I put enough oil in the pan so it wouldn't scorch and blacken it. So once that is done, we will basically put this baby in the oven, and that will be the final part of this wonderful, wonderful chicken. And then you'll see the end results. And the end results mean One small Robusto from me. And a loving kiss from me to Moppy. One of the chicken pieces is showing a little blood at the end of the leg. That'll bake off on the in the oven at 300 degrees, like I said. You shouldn't have any problems when it's all done. So I just want to say for all of you out there, I'm waiting for the oven to finish preheating, but my next job is to show you. There's plenty of oil in the pan, so you can see here, this is the pan I use. This thing is what Aaron used to call the whack-a-rita. He used to make jokes about it. Since it's light and golden, it has not much cleaning time. See, with the proper oils in the pan, you can actually get this cleaned pretty good without scorching the bottom. Now, the only thing left to do is wait for the oven to finish. As you can see, I'm wiping down the kitchen nicely. And so, yes, it takes a bit. This oven's old. They say it's like 30 years old. It's not self-cleaning. So once the light goes off at 300, you put it in for 1 hour. 1 hour. You don't rotate them at all during the cooking process. You leave them just there. Also, for cooking it, you want it at the highest cooking rack possible. That's one thing I forgot to tell you. When you have oven racks, you remove the other racks. You only want the upper rack because that's how the perfection cooks this particular chicken. Once you get that done, then all is well. So, also just to remind you, when you guys are done making chicken, as I said, and I'll show you this, the chicken here, right here on this pan, the entire thing is going to be purely greasy when you're, and that means that never cook chicken above and below or have two sets in the oven. Your pan is going to be completely and purely oily. And I mean it's oil where you're going to be scrubbing for a long time unless you have a de-oiler program or a de-oiler, etc. to get it clean. So you need to know I'm drinking Shasta Cola. It's like 3 liters for $1 at the dollar store. So So, like I said, 300 degrees for 1 hour. I, of course, will need to get my cell phone for a second since I have to use it as a timer. Okay, the time right now is approximately 4:08. Chicken's ready to go in. Timer it up, and we'll see you in about 1 hour. Stay tuned for the next part of this wonderful review. Welcome back to part 2 of making chicken. Now, before I continue, I have to dig up these, which I need to learn where I put them. Usually I have 2 pot holders. I just got to find the other one. These are gloves. So I'm going to open up the oven, and I'm going to... If you look here, that is... Whoops. I'm going to have to clean my chair real quick because there's hot oil on it. So, and I didn't mean to drip any oil at all. So, or chicken fat. So, maybe I can do it this way for you all. Turn the camera down here. Somehow, I got it. Alright, so, okay, so let me grab the pot holder once again. I will be looking for the other one. Let me show you. Now, as you can see, that is the way it's supposed to be, golden brown. Let these sit for approximately 10 minutes before you eat them because they are going to be very, very hot. So, there you have it. Cook at 300 degrees and for 1 hour. And then when you're done, you let them cool 10 minutes and you serve them. Also, just for a note, you take your tongs because even though this wasn't prepped properly, another thing you could use is somewhere around here, I have it probably in the pantry, is Crisco. You layer up the bottom of the thing with Crisco and it helps the chicken be easier for you to pry apart once you are done cooking it. So Crisco can be used as a helper to make it so the thing is non-stick. So there you have it. That's what we call farm cooking. I was talking to my neighbor Phyllis, who is sick. Rest her soul, and hope she sick meaning she's ill, you know, from a head cold, chest cold, etc. She's 80. So she and I talked about recipes, and she says, yes, this is the authentic way farmers used to cook their chicken. So, that said, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. If you've cooked this or you haven't, just let us know. Just keep it nice is all we ask. And enjoy every puff and enjoy all your eats. Thank you. And may God bless you in all you do.